Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my Friday message. My special guest this week is cancer biologist Donald McDonald, whose lab at Duke developed a new drug the FDA approved just a few weeks ago as the first therapy to target certain classes of advanced breast cancers. This is a significant achievement that will bring new hopes to breast cancer patients with mutations in a specific estrogen receptor, and I look forward to hearing from Donald. But before we talk, I'd like to share a few updates. The School of Medicine ranked 9th in NIH Research Funding in the latest analysis by the Blue Ridge Institute for Medical Research. We've been in the top 10 nationally in 19 of the last 22 years, and we usually place somewhere between 7 and 10. So we're right in our sweet spot. And when you total up all the grants and contracts, we're actually at number 4. 8 of our clinical science departments and 2 basic science departments ranked in the top 10, and another 7 departments were among the top 25. Our continued strong record of research funding is a testament to the excellence and commitment of our scientific faculty. Craig Albanese has been named the Chief Executive Officer of Duke University Health System. Craig is a widely respected surgeon scientist and clinical investigator, and he's been serving Duke as an exceptional leader in the role of Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of the health system since January 2022. I know you join me in congratulating him on his new role. Dev Sengvi, Professor of Family Medicine, Pediatrics, and Psychiatry in the School of Medicine, is the new president of Duke Regional Hospital. Over his 20-year career at Duke, he has proven himself to be a dedicated and innovative leader, and he'll do a great job in this new position. And lastly, 5 members of the School of Medicine faculty were elected to the American Society for Clinical Investigation. Gerald Bloomfield, Dennis Koh, Thu Lee, Edward Miao, and Jonathan Pancini. This is one of the oldest and most esteemed honor societies for physician scientists. And now, please join me in my conversation with Donald McDonald. I want to welcome my special guest, Donald McDonald. Donald is a Glaxo-Wellcome Distinguished Professor of Molecular Cancer Biology in the Department of Pharmacology and Cancer Biology. His research focuses on the development of novel therapeutics that target estrogen and androgen receptors in breast and prostate cancer. He and his lab made headlines recently when the FDA approved a drug Donald and his team developed at Duke to fight hard-to-treat advanced breast cancers. Please see the School of Medicine's news page for more information on this exciting story. So Donald, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Mary. The team and I are really excited about this.
That is amazing. So this is a drug that you developed for advanced breast cancer. So tell us about the mechanism that the drug is targeting and also the unmet need.
Yeah. Advanced metastatic breast cancer is mostly estrogen receptor positive. That is the primary target for most breast cancers. And what we have found is that in the majority of patients who fail first-line therapy, they acquire mutations in the estrogen receptor that pretty much render standard of care endocrine therapies inactive. And my team decided a couple of years ago to try and take a different approach, to try and just get rid of the receptor at all, not worry about the mutated receptor. And they found this drug, elacestrant, and the rest was history.
So it was a long history.
It was.
Started 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting story. It's to be honest with you, it's a repurposed drug. This drug was developed initially to treat dementia. It was an old hypothesis that estrogens could be used to treat dementia. Didn't work. Then it was used to treat hot flashes for postmenopausal women, and it didn't work. And 2 of my trainees got interested in the bizarre pharmacology. Why did it not work? In fact, not only did it not work, is as you added increasing doses of the drug to patients, hot flashes got worse. And so they chased down the pharmacology of this, and they found out that the reason things were getting worse is because it was getting rid of the estrogen receptor, the exact thing that we wanted in breast cancer, but that had been so elusive.
So was that an aha moment where
yeah.
You said, oh my goodness?
Well, it was an aha moment for the 2 trainees who walked into my office, and I was a little bit more excited than they were because we'd actually been trying to do this since 1996. We had another drug that we developed at Duke here called Taxol that we out-licensed to DuPont, got into phase 2 clinical trials, did quite well, but it basically got terminated because of financial reasons. And so this was a redo with a better drug with more efficacy.
So why does it take so long?
So obviously clinical trials in themselves, the whole process takes long. But this was a little bit longer. It took a little bit longer than normal. First of all, the company that had owned the drug and was trying to develop for hot flashes They were not an oncology company. And they had no interest in oncology at the time. And to be honest with you, the best way I can describe it is we had to educate them over several years as to why this was a good bet. And it took a long time to get into trials. Once it went into clinical trials, though, things worked really, really fast and moved fast.
So you mentioned these were trainees.
Yeah.
Where are they today?
So one, Dr. Susan Wardell, is an assistant professor in my group right now. She elected to stay with us, and she's now working on another drug for prostate cancer. And second is Dr. Eric Nelson, who was a postdoc in the lab, and he's now a tenured associate professor at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. He just got an ERA Hope Scholar Award, and he's doing fantastic.
So Donald, you mentioned when we were talking, you were so touched by the recent news coverage.
Yeah, I was, Mary, because, although, we as scientists understand that development of this drug is important, and, I don't see patients myself. And what I heard was patients telling, the reporters how important this drug was to them. There was one woman in particular that stood out who said that she had failed all therapies and that she really didn't have any options left. She went on the clinical trial with this drug and had a favorable response, and now was able to attend functions that she didn't think she was going to be able to attend. To be honest with you, that meant more to us than any of the other things about the discovery of the drug.
Wow. So an amazing story.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of effort and collaboration between sponsored research, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. Did that all come together for this?
It did, and I tell you, it's interesting because, obviously there was funding from the NCI. We started off, with this whole concept of trying to develop ways to, there's new ways to treat breast cancer with NCI funding. We then transitioned, and we got very fortunate, and we got a very large DoD innovator grant, which really allowed us to take shots for the fence. And this is one of those shots, looking for degraders that could be used in these late stage diseases. But, the interesting thing is, as you know yourself, Mary, unless you are willing to, try and push this to the next level, try and convince the innovators, the people who own the drugs, the people who will develop these drugs, you need to convince them that this is the next great thing. And that's what entrepreneurship really is. It's not just making money. It's the process of translating and not only monetizing, but translating to the clinic the discoveries in the lab. And we're actually very good at that at Duke. And I think, we now have the Office of Translation and Commercialization and under Robin Razor. They have been just amazing at helping us to actually link up with the people that we need to link up with to develop drugs.
So now the bar's high. What's the next great thing?
Yeah, so we have a second drug that is now just entering in phase 3 trials called lasofoxifene. It's also going to target estrogen receptor mutants. It's a different class of drug. I expect that it will have a slightly different clinical profile, maybe used in a different population of patients. That drug, lasofoxifene, I think has a chance that it might be used in early stage disease as well, because its side effect profile is spectacularly good. We're also, half my lab works on prostate cancer as well, and we've actually got a new drug that we're developing now, and I'm hoping to bring to the clinic within, I'd say, the next 18 months for metastatic prostate cancer.
Wow, you're on a roll. So congratulations to you and to your entire team, and thank them, and we are so appreciative of your work.
Thanks very much, Mary.
And with that, I want to wish everybody a safe and relaxing weekend.